Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and the founder of Ohio Patriot Education Network. So, for today's episode, we're going to talk about why the Ohio Constitution Protection Act is so needed, as well as why Section 230 needs to be revoked from tech monopolies around this country. So basically, here in the last day or so, you've had a bunch of stuff happen in Ohio, and I'm going to talk about a few things here. You've also had a couple other things happen as well when it comes to various people bitching about gerrymandering and all kinds of other stupid horse shit. But the thing I hate most about Democrats in the state of Ohio is they will always bitch about gerrymandering, but only if it's Republicans. They'll never bitch about the Democrat gerrymandering. It's been going on for decades now, dude. How every single major Ohio city, from Cleveland to Columbus to Cincinnati, etc., Dayton, Toledo, Akron, Canton, all these places like that, have been gerrymandered blue for at least the past 40 fucking years, longer than I've been alive at this point. So, yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit entirely, dude. I'm fucking sick and tired of it, honestly. I'm so sick of these fucking people. And if they really want to have a true, representation at a state level, it's time to go for one county, one rep. And if they got a fucking problem with that, dude, if they got an actual problem with downing the 99 people in our state house to 88 of them and actually having legitimate single county representation for every single county in the state, then they can just fuck right off is what it is, man. Seriously. It's a bunch of bullshit entirely, man. So, specifically, it's because all the asshole Democrats that were talking about leaving comments on Brian Stewart's page on Twitter earlier today is what it was. And we're going to talk about some of those and stuff. I responded to some of these douchebags is what it was. But, yeah, starting out, though, I do want to talk about, particularly before we get into the Ohio stuff, I want to talk about tech censorship. So, obviously, for those that haven't watched it, last night I did the previous Grandstand where I was talking about WWE and the possibility of it being sold to Saudi Arabia now is what it was. So I'd gone on Facebook last night and I was saying similar stuff to that. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You have Vince McMahon trying to sell, a wrestling company to the Saudis and how bad this is going to hurt the company and everything else. Like, that's true, by the way. You got gay wrestlers in the company, you got lady wrestlers in the company. It's like, Islam hates that shit, dude, for real. Like, they fucking hate it. They just do. And I basically went on that whole thing and I was like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's not going to do, like, all you're going to do is have like mass exiting of this company and everything else like that. And then proceeded to be like, mind you, this is coming from the same country that actually has enough money to somehow buy a wrestling company, but yet actually can't, go up there and be the first safe nation to where they could take in a bunch of Afghani refugees and stuff like that is what it is, dude. And then I proceeded to end it with fuck Islam. And what did fucking Facebook try to hit me with? They tried to literally hit me with a deletion post where it was either you delete this or you're going to get a fucking hate speech strike is what it was. Like, how the fuck is it hate speech to call something out for what it fucking is, dude? No, it's fucking freedom of speech, motherfuckers. And this is why these people need to be held accountable at this point, dude. Whether it be Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatever the case be here, man. When you are censoring people's content, when you are censoring their First Amendment freedom of speech in America, your ass needs to be fucking held to account. You need to lose Section 230, period. End of fucking story. It's not just me that's being censored these days, dude. Hell, Mad Mark, formerly E Honda, was recently hit with a fucking channel strike because of some bullshit relating to COVID stuff. Even though it was all proven true now, everything he fucking said in that video on Sunday, during that stream that I was part of, but yet all of a sudden they're like, oh no, can't say that shit because it actually proves the truth is what it is. It's fucking ridiculous, dude, entirely. So, and yeah, they've been targeting gun channels like crazy over the past 20 years on this fucking site is what it is, dude, as well. So, or however the hell long YouTube's existed at this point under Google's watch is what it is. So it's just fucking ridiculous, dude, either way. But anyway, we're going to talk about a couple different things. This is something I saw on ABC News, the ABC local news this afternoon. And of course, you had that fuckstick Casey Weinstein, who, by the way, who committed a hate hoax on himself just under 4 years ago because it's just the same amount, almost the same amount of time verbatim. Like, there was about a month or so in between the two. I was federally swatted, and then his bitch ass created hate hoax on himself a month after. That's what it was. In September 2019. I was federally swatted in August 2019. And yeah, he wants to bitch and moan about, like, the 45 Republicans now being a minority party in the state of Ohio. It's like, no, bitch, you and your fucking Democrat buddies and your little rhino fuckboys out there like Bill Seitz and fucking Jason Stevens. And I'm actually gonna call up Mike Lorchuk at this point for that shit, dude, because he fucking is a goddamn turncoat as well at this point, man. Every single one of these fuckers, from those three assholes to fucking that piece of shit Sarah Carruthers to that dumb bitch Cindy Abrams, etc., dude. Carruthers is one of the worst too, by the way, because she's actually one of these rounds that does pay to play shit at the fucking state house for the past 3 fucking years at least, dude. And he hasn't been investigated or arrested for various fucking criminal charges of bribery stuff, dude. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, Larry Householder's pretrial is going on right now, dude, for his bribery scandal from HB6 a few years back now. And you're going to have AG Yost and a shitload of ex-lawmakers, as well as current lawmakers, actually go testify. It's probably why they're not doing anything in the state house right now, honestly, is my guess, because you have some people that are actually going to go testify in Larry Householder's trial, even though they themselves, Republican and Democrat both, should be brought up on charges as fucking accessories to the shit, because you know goddamn well they took fucking money just like his ass did, man. Every single yes vote for Householder as Speaker in 2019 should be on the fucking docket for investigations at this point, dude. Because every single one of those motherfuckers, pretty much with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2, all were involved in HB6, dude. And if that wasn't HB6, it was other bribery scandals, and if that be the case. And that includes people like Allison Russo, by the way. So, anyway. But, going on to what we're talking about here today, though, which is, obviously you had that piece of shit Weinstein bitching and moaning about, like, oh, they're a minority party now. It's like, no, bitch, they are the majority party. You just need to have 22 new elections for Republicans and have 0 new elections for Democrats at all at this point, dude. Kick every single one of you fucking assholes out and don't replace you with anybody at this point, dude. Seriously. Or replace you with 32 independents is what it is. That's what it should be anyway. Actually, not even 32. It'd be less than that now, because we would take 11 away from that. So it'd be 21 independents is what it would be then. But anyway, so this is basically a story they were sort of half showing here. It said, State Representative Derek Marin says he, not Speaker Jason Stevens, is the leader of the Ohio House Republicans. He's right about that too, by the way. When you have 44 other people backing you compared to the 21 sellouts backing Jason Stevens, yeah, I would say there's a huge difference there, dude. But anyway, as I said here, it said, Columbus, Ohio, State Rep Derek Marin, after meeting with a majority of Ohio House Republicans on Wednesday, asserted that he is the leader of the Ohio House GOP, even though he lost the Speaker's race to fellow Republican Jason Stevens last week, only because, again, they refused to talk about that one, because you had literally 32 Democrats even having a fucking say in who was going to be Speaker, is what it was. They should have had no fucking vote in that at all, dude. It should have been like, no, this is led by Republicans. It's the Republicans that choose this stuff. You could have 21 Republicans plus Jason Stevens, pick Jason Stevens. You would have then had 44 Republicans plus Derek Marin being 45, picking Derek Marin, and he would have won by default is what it is. And that's how it should have gone entirely, man. It's the exact same thing federally when it comes to McCarthy. You should have not had the Democrats be able to put up Hakeem Jeffries at all at that point or had any fucking vote in that fucking federal election is what it was, dude, for Speaker of the House. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. When it comes to any of these speakerships, I don't care if it's at the state level or a federal level, it should be we the fucking people of the state or we the people of this fucking country being the actual voter base to vote on who's going to be our fucking speaker, dude. At either state or federal levels is what it is. The same thing with Senate presidents and stuff like that. It's ridiculous that it's basically, you can have somebody that gets into office like an Allison Russo type in an area of Columbus that you may have Republican voters there, dude, that don't even have a say in who's going to be their state rep because that fucking cunt automatically loses by default is what it is there in Upper Arlington area because, again, it's, one of the richest leftist neighborhoods in the state of fucking Ohio is what it is, dude. Especially in the Columbus area. But yet, they don't actually have a say in who their speaker is going to be or who their actual representative is going to vote for is what it is, dude, because they don't actually represent those people is what it is. And that's the thing, man. Like, I've said it before, dude. I have gone to other state senators in the past in the state of Ohio now, dude, because I fucking hate Kirk Shearing so much. That guy does not represent me at all, dude. I did not vote for his bitch ass. I did not fucking ever want him on the fucking ballot at all. And the biggest problem I have with the guy in general is when you refuse to even have your fucking aides that are working for you at the state house, at the state senate there, at the General Assembly is what it is there, Ohio legislature, whatever we call it at that point, when they refuse to even call me back or have you fucking call me back, I have never spoken to you once, buddy. You know who I have spoken to, though? I've legitimately spoken to other state senators in the state of Ohio in the past 3 years, dude. As a two-way advocate, as a two-way activist. But no, your bitch ass is fucking around in Stark County in the past year trying to get gambling legalized here because you know you can make a fuck ton of money off of it because you're all fucking in bed with these goddamn fucking companies now is what it is, dude. Whether it be FanDuel or fucking MGM Bet or whatever the fuck it is now, dude. All these other ones that came in here now. I know DraftKings is one of them too. I guarantee he's in bed with those fucking people as well, dude. And that's another thing. Like, why isn't Kirk Shearing specifically now being investigated for various fucking kickbacks from fucking betting companies, dude? It's ridiculous. And that's why I've said before in the Oathbreaker series, dude, I'm not going to sit there and just call it Democrats. I'll call it everybody, dude. I'll call it Democrats, Republicans, rhinos, fucking dinos, all these motherfuckers, dude. Because they're all a bunch of scumbags. All of them. All they want at the end of the day is ultimate fucking power. And how do you achieve that? You completely break a term limit ability of a General Assembly to simply flip-flop that General Assembly every 8 fucking years, which is exactly what Kirk Shearing's done for the past, 20 years or so, since that's been in place now. And it's what people like Scott Ollinger, who was one of the pieces of shit who voted for fucking asshole Stevens, has done as well. And it's usually him and Shearing fucking flip-flopping each other every so often is what it is, dude. Because they're in the same district areas is what it is. So anyway, continuing back to, and we're also going to get into the Ohio Constitution thing, as well, about BM 114 specifically, here in a few minutes, for those interested. So going back to the Derek Marin thing, though, it said Marin, speaking with reporters outside the Ohio House chamber, vowed to push the House rules that lessen the power of the Speaker, as well as advance legislation that Stevens has opposed, including a proposed state constitutional amendment to raise the threshold for passing future constitutional amendments, which, by the way, and I'll talk about what that actually is right now. So, specifically, the Ohio, actually, we're going to go ahead and grab up the, we'll actually talk about that right now since it was, and then we'll go back to the actual article with Marin talking about stuff and whatnot. So, going off to that right now, this is on Twitter here, you had Brian Stewart said, today I reintroduced the Ohio Constitution Protection Act along with 35 co-sponsors to require a 60% vote margin to amend Ohio's governing document. It's good policy and it's time to get it done. He's right about that too, by the way. So here is why we need to have that 60% threshold. As it stands right now in the state of Ohio, you can have some dumb motherfucker like Michael Bloomberg or Shannon Watts or Moms Demand Action or fucking Giffords or anybody like that, dude, put through a ballot issue, a ballot initiative, a ballot measure, just like BM 114 in Oregon, just like they did there is what it was, dude. That is completely unconstitutional, completely fucks with the Second Amendment, should, in and of itself, as soon as it's handed to a Secretary of State with petitions and have enough petitions to go on the ballot and stuff like that, dude, the Secretary of State of any of those states, dude, should be looking at that legislation and rip it up in front of their fucking faces and be like, no, you are not defiling the Second Amendment, fuck you. And it should be on camera they're doing that, by the way. It should be like, this is what these fuckers want to put on our ballot. It ain't gonna fucking happen. Fucking rip it up, toss it in a trash can, light that fucking shit on fire, dude, is what it is. Because that's exactly where it belongs. It belongs to us, a fucking pile of ashes. And the entire point is, as it stands right now within the state of Ohio, you need 50% of the vote plus one person to get it done. You can't tell me, with the amount of fuckery that we've seen in the past at least 3 election cycles, even just here in the state of Ohio, whether it be Sherrod Brown's bitch ass cheating his way back in the U.S. Senate in 2018, whether it be the fuckery of 2020 with Biden and company, or whether it be the bullshit here in 2022 with Amelia Sykes and Greg Landsman getting into Congress, where they clearly did not win legitimately. Like, no, bro. You cannot tell me that Democrats could not cheat enough people here to get that shit done. To get some bullshit ballot measure on the fucking ballot. Or even that same vein of things. Maybe not even anti-gun shit. It might be like pro-abortion stuff. It might be anti-life shit. Where it's literally, okay, we can have you be able to kill babies up to the fucking moment of birth in the womb now. Like, fuck that, dude. No. And as I said before, when it came to the last two ballot measures that we actually had, the last two ballot issues that we've had in this past election cycle here in 2022, back in November, you had one of them was to allow courts to decide if dangerous criminals should have more bail on them. The other one was to make sure illegal aliens couldn't vote in our election cycles. Both of them passed by like a 67% margin. Because people are like, no, we're not having illegals vote in our fucking elections, and we're not allowing a bunch of dangerous fucking criminals back on the streets with low-ass bails and shit like that, dude. To be able to just post like $25,000 bond or something like that when they should be sitting in prison right now on millions because they murdered people is what it was, dude, or raped a bunch of kids or whatever the case be. And that's exactly what it should be here. We should need that 60% margin at least to get that done. But then what do you actually have as some of the comments on responding back to Brian Stewart here from a bunch of dumbass Democrats there on Twitter? Obviously, you had mine that said, obviously I'm not dumbass, but you had my specific comments say it should have happened 25 years ago. Same with constitutional carry, but at least y'all got that done last year. Then you had Ohio Legislative Watch, which is known Democrat fucking page, that said, the loser caucus desperately tries to remain relevant. I responded back to their asses too. I'll talk about that one in a minute though. And then same asshole a couple hours ago said, also, how did you already lose 10 members in the first day? Marin had 45 votes. Now you only have 35. So first of all, dumbass, if you're actually paying attention, you dumb motherfuckers at Ohio Legislative Watch, it was not 35 people. It was 36 people because Brian Stewart would be, first of all, the actual primary sponsor on the legislation. You may have a secondary primary on that one, like Derek Marin or somebody like that as well, so that'd be 37. So that means potentially you have 8 people who just weren't there today is what it was, dude. And the big thing about that is it could also be a situation as well where what you end up having is, and I've seen this before with Ohio, is what it was. When they're actually doing legislation to introduce different bills and stuff like that, you actually have them go around to different people's offices and stuff like that, and they'll be like, hey, Reggie Stolfist, do you want to sign on to this or whatever the case be? And he's like, yeah. And if they go knock on his door, he's just not there because he's in like some committee hearing, whatever the case be. They're like, hey, where's Stolfist? And they're like, he's in a committee. Like one of his aides will say that and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, okay. We don't know if he wants to be part of this or not. We need to submit it by like 5 o'clock today or whatever the case be. And it's like 4:50 right now. And the aide would probably be like, he wants to, but he's not here and he's not going to get it in time or whatever. And so what would happen is you would have his name be excluded from that for the time being. But the thing of it is, when you actually start to get these pieces of legislation on the floor for actual floor votes and stuff like that, there's actually a time period where people that are not currently co-sponsors of the legislation can actually put their names on as co-sponsors after the fact, is what it is. So you could easily have, another 9 people basically jump on that as legislation is what it is, dude, at some point in the future. It just happened to be that their 9 names were not actually part of that right now because they were either in a committee hearing or they were doing something else at the time, They might have taken a whiz or something like that for all the fuck we know, dude. And they just weren't there to get it submitted in time is what it was then. And it had to be submitted on time that day to become legislation right now is what it is. So it's a very simple answer to that fucking question is what it is, dude. It's just people want to be a bunch of assholes about it is what it is, dude, because they're a bunch of leftist douchebags is what it ends up being. But anywho, so going back to the rest of that though. Then you had the Rooster people, that was the ones that called out Russo the other day, said, it's funny because you look like you're sitting at that desk. The one guy kind of does, actually. The dude that's like the main guy there. I'm not sure which legislator that is, actually, offhand. I believe the old man here with the black booklet in front of him there at the desk, I think that's Phil Plummer. And that was one of the other guys that would have possibly been in that race for speakership. And then he dropped out and backed Marin is what it was. And I'm trying to actually see if my state rep is even part of this group of people. There's definitely a lot of new faces here, I'll tell you that much. There's a lot of people there that I do not recognize offhand. So, and then there's a couple people there that are definitely like second and third termers and stuff like that. Oh, actually, the blue suit back there with like a salt and pepper haircut and stuff. I can't remember if that's still Fist or not, actually. That might be him now. Maybe. If not, he might just not be there, is what it is then. And then you had some dumbasses, specifically like this Sharon for in Ohio 4, who actually lost, I believe it was a congressional race against somebody, talking about good for whom, Brian? And I responded back to her dumbass, and I was like, good for people that don't want to see their constitutional rights be yanked away, you dumb cunt. I didn't actually call her dumb cunt because you can't say that on Twitter, but like I should have, honestly. I should have tried because she is a fucking dumb cunt, man, for real. Then you had some other dumbass named Charles say this horrible policy. Get the fuck out of my state, Charles. Seriously. And then you got a bunch of other dumbasses being like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and takes. You got this dumbass Capalm saying, "Ridiculous policy designed to take away power from the citizens and place it in legislators who are protected by in their illegally gerrymandered seats. It is an adulterated power grab." How the fuck so, dude? How the fuck do you even figure that, buddy? When you're literally upping the threshold for how much it would take to change the state constitution, for God's sakes. When you specifically have Article 1, Section 4 of the Ohio Constitution allows Ohio citizens the right to keep and bear arms. That's the kind of shit that they could change with some Bloomberg fuckery, dude, to allow us not to have the right to keep and bear arms anymore. That's what ballot measures can do, man. When you have a 50% plus one vote threshold currently. And I'll be goddamn if I ever let that shit happen in this fucking state, dude. I will fight these people to the fucking death with my bare hands if it comes to it. Because I will never let them take away my constitutional rights, dude, to keep and bear arms in this fucking country. Ever. And it's as simple as that. I will do legitimately sword combat with these motherfuckers, dude. Full chainmail and padded armor. Which is what we should be going back to anywhere right now. And that's the thing. I will challenge Casey Weinstein's bitch ass to one of those fucking fights as well, dude. I would love to fucking fight that motherfucker, dude. The same thing with Tim Ryan, actually, on the same thing of things, dude. It's like swords and fucking chainmail / padded combat, dude. I guarantee their bitch asses will never actually accept that, though. Even though they totally should. So. Yeah, they hit some other dumbasses claim it's bad policy and it's time to not do it. These leftists really just need to shut the fuck up, man, for real. But yeah, it is good policy and it does need to be done, is what it is. So there's that. And then going back to what we were talking about earlier with the speakership and the 45 Republicans now that are all an actual caucus in the state instead of 67, which is what it should be currently. Yeah, it said Marin talked about that constitutional amendment there, which I already talked about a minute ago. Said, we're going to do everything within our power to pass conservative policies and Republican policies, Marin said. Ask who the leader of the House Republicans is. He replied, I'm the leader of the House Republicans. Damn right you are. So the assertion comes amid an unusual and still evolving fight over who will have control over the Ohio House for the next 2 years. So Republicans hold 67 of 99 seats. Last week, 22 of them bucked Marin, the House GOP's original nominee for Speaker, to back Jason Stevens, who won thanks to the support of all 32 House Democrats by literally selling his fucking soul to Crossroads demon Allison Russo. Said Marin acknowledged on Wednesday that he and his supporters obviously do not have, full control of the chamber. It takes 50 votes to pass legislation in the House, meaning neither Marin backers, Stevens Republican supporters, nor House Democrats have enough votes by themselves to push legislation through without support from at least one of the other two groups. Oh, shit, man. Oh, man. Oh, buddy. Oh, please, God, tell me nothing gets through for the next 2 years in Ohio. How fucking great would that be, man? How fucking great would that be? That being said, it's not going to happen, obviously, because the problem is right now you have 22 rhinos, including Jason Stevens, and you have 32 Democrats who are going to suck each other's dicks off and jam each other's clams to pass through a bunch of unconstitutional bullshit, like fucking over the backpack bill to stop school voucher programs and stuff like that is what it would be, man. And that right there is what's going to show exactly how we're going to get fucked in the state house right now, dude. When you have 54 fucktards basically fucking us over is what it is. So, and why every one of those 54 needs to be tossed out of office if that be the case, dude. Actually, I would say anytime it's a 50% vote or more, DeWine needs to veto it down, dude, period. And I'll say that as much right now, dude. He needs to veto that shit immediately as governor and be like, no, fuck you guys. You're not gonna do that bullshit. You no longer have a veto-proof majority because you're a bunch of fucking morons. Fuck y'all. Is what it is. And it's as simple as that, really. So, anyway. Let's see. Taking on, it said, Stevens, as speaker, has enormous control over deciding which bills actually reach the House floor, and he determines which committees lawmakers are appointed to. Again, that's bullshit as well, dude. That appointment committee and stuff like that, dude, should all be based on voters at this point. So Murren said he plans to meet with Stevens on Wednesday afternoon, which would be today. So it's probably happening right now, or has already happened. He declined to provide specifics of what will be discussed, though he said the meeting will include a good faith debate about changing House rules, which is similar to what they did at a federal level there. And now you have Kevin McCarthy federally basically being a speaker in name only, which is how it should be anyway in most of these state houses as well, dude, across the board, if not all of them entirely. It said, quote, we want to make sure people are able to offer floor amendments. We want to make sure people are allowed to speak on the House floor and that we are going to be treated fairly in the choosing of chairmanships and the House Rules Committee members, Marin said. We want to have an inclusive process because what we will not stand for is a concentration of authoritarian power, which is what I basically said on Facebook earlier today. Actually, I was talking about oligarchies and how you don't have oligarchies, what it is, dude. And that's the problem right now with Ohio's House Speaker currently. The motherfucker that's the House Speaker is basically an oligarch. They have a one-person oligarchy is what it is, dude. And that's not how a constitutional republic functions. We need to be an actual constitutional republic again. The only way to make that happen is to give the fucking power back across the board is what it is. And and I would say it like this, simple majority rules on stuff. And if that means you have some fucking abortion legislation get into a House floor vote, so be it. If that means you have a bunch of good pro-2A legislation get into a House floor vote, fuck yeah. If that means you have a bunch of pro-life stuff getting that way as well, fuck yeah. Is what it needs to be, dude. Seriously. So, anyway. Continuing on, though, said... Marin said it's not his, quote, personal focus to try to remove Stevens as speaker. It fucking should be at this point. We want to focus on policy, Marin said. After Marin met behind closed doors with nearly 40 Ohio House Republicans who voted for Stevens were not invited, the group of lawmakers collectively went to the House Clerk's office to reintroduce the proposed constitutional amendment, which failed to pass last session, which, by the way, and as I said before, the Constitutional Protection Act thing, quite literally was only not passed because he didn't have time to do it, is what it was, dude. That was the one where you had the mini insurrection by a bunch of leftists, including Tammy Wilson, who tried to run against Jim Jordan for that congressional district last year. And she was filming the whole thing, dude. And that's exactly what all these leftists, these MDH people and stuff like that, that were all there to do that crap, dude. That were all like, our vote, our voice, our vote, or some bull crap like that's what they were shouting and stuff in the chambers, dude. Every single one of those people need to be arrested and banned from the chambers forever is what it is, dude. Exiled, period. Period. End of story, dude. Seriously. Fuck them all, dude. You know, when you're trying to create a banana republic and a fucking bullshit ass fucking fake fucktard democracy in a constitutional republic, it's like, no, it's time for you to not have voting rights anymore, dude. And time to be going off to jail for fucking federal charges and stuff like that and felonies and everything else like that. So, anyway. Let's see. It said, State Rep Brian Stewart, a Pickaway County Republican who introduced the proposed amendment last year and on Wednesday, said the measure could still be passed in time to apply to a May primary election ballot if Stevens allows it to move forward now. There is a looming February 1st legal deadline to do so, but Stevens has yet to even release a House session schedule because he's a lazy fucker is what it is, dude. That's the whole point entirely. So we're ready to pass it, Stewart said. It's a question of whether the current leadership's appetite is there as well for it. Said Jen Miller of the League of Women Voters of Ohio, which is nothing but a leftist fucking organization, said the, quote, by the way, Jen Miller, I guarantee, was part of that insurrection act here in Ohio, dude, is what it was. So, anyway. Said the broad coalition that formed last session to defeat the proposed amendment stands ready to oppose it again. Fuck you, cunt. Said for over a century, everyday Ohioans have had a freedom to collect signatures and pass ballot initiatives to make our lives better. Yeah, by what? Pushing a bunch of fucking abortion legislation, trying to give Nick Lachey and other fucking asshole Hollywood pedophiles the ability to control fucking weed in Ohio if it was actually recreational here. That's why that shit got voted down 10 fucking years ago, by the way, is because it was a bunch of fucking asshole douchebags from fucking Hollywood who would have controlled the entire fucking marijuana growth to distribution to fucking sale and everything else like that of marijuana in the state of Ohio if it was passed, dude. And it's exactly why it got soundly voted down a decade back. It's exactly why even I fucking voted against it, dude. Even though I really want to see weed legalized, I'm not going to let some fucking Hollywood fuckstick have the ability to basically be a goddamn fucking small coalition of fucking cocksuckers to get it done, dude. It should be every single Ohioan having the ability to go in there and get that shit done. That's exactly why I've talked before when I was actually trying to run for governor fucking 3 years ago. Why I said back in 2020, one of the things I was running as a platform then was to actually do a 100 for 100 initiative to allow people to buy into weed co-ops and weed growing and be able to profit off of that stuff and actually make themselves a little bit of money and possibly get out of poverty. So, anyway, moving on, though. And by the way, it's something that actually run on in 2026 for governor, too, as well. So, anyway, this dumb cunt said, for over a century, everyday Ohioans have had the freedom to collect signatures and pass ballot initiatives that make our lives better, except they don't. This solution is unnecessary, unpopular, and undemocratic. We're a constitutional republic, you stupid fucking cunt, Jen Miller. Maybe you would learn that if you actually read the goddamn Constitution for once, you dumb bitch. But of course, you and the rest of the League of Women Voters never fucking have. And it's exactly why I've said for some time, dude, the 19 Amendment was a fucking mistake, especially for left-hearted bitches is what it is, dude. And I'm not talking about just women, by the way. I'm talking about the 26 on top of that one for fucking dumbass fucking men is what it is, dude, that are still voting Democrat in 2023. Anyway, continuing on here, it said, and by the way, it's not like I'm pro-Republican either, dude. I want as many political parties as possible. I would rather have somebody run as a legit communist for office than run as a fucking Democrat socialist like that dumb bitch AOC, dude. I would rather have 1,000 people run as actual Constitution Party members and be able to get into office instead of some two-party gerrymandered bullshit, dude, in primaries, which is exactly what Ohio has currently. It's either vote Republican or vote Democrat or don't have any fucking say in the election cycle ever, dude, is what it is. And God forbid if you run as a libertarian or a Green Party member or anything like that here is what it is, dude. You're fucking done. You run as an independent, you ain't getting in fucking anything, dude. You either run as a Republican or you run as a Democrat or you're not getting into office ever in the state of Ohio. And it's bullshit all the way around. And it also, by the way, in that two-party system, depends on exactly where your congressional district or whatever seat you're trying to run for actually sits in the county. Because depending on how red or blue that county is, if you're running as a Republican in a blue county, good fucking luck getting in. If you're running as a Democrat in a red county, good fucking luck getting in because it's not going to happen. And that's the entire problem right now, dude. It's all gerrymandered bullshit on both sides. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it as a fucking guy who is not a fucking either one of these parties. I am an internet libertarian. I have been since 2016, since I created that fucking party, dude. Sorry, internet went down for a minute. I am sick and tired of not having my party represented here because these fucking assholes want to hold a bullshit two major party primary every fucking election cycle. It is unconstitutional in of itself on that one, and it's fucking BS entirely. And the only reason that I haven't brought up lawsuits against this shit right now, dude, is because lawyer fees are fucking astronomical, is what it is. And it's absolute BS that you can't get a fucking free lawyer pro bono in this state, or any other state for that matter, to do that kind of stuff. So, anyway. Let's see here now. Where are we at now? Yeah, going back to that article, though, past that dumbass woman from the lefty League Women Voters there, said Marin said if he was elected speaker, the first House bill introduced, would be legislation to change state ethics rules. So while Marin declined to speak in detail about the proposed bill, because he knows it's a bunch of fucking corruption and fraud going on in the state is what it is, dude. He said that would, among other things, make reforms regarding how people are appointed to the Public Union Commission of Ohio, the PUCO, which regulates state utilities, has come under major scrutiny since First Energy admitted bribing ex-PUCO chair Sam Reduso to secure the number of policy priorities. Randazzo did not clearly disclose the $4.3 million payment, which terminated an ongoing consultant agreement, has led with First Energy, but which the company since has said was a bribe, which, by the way, this is the bribe that Larry Householder is going to prison for at this point. It says Marin said he's willing to support legislation brought by Stevens or Democrats if he thinks it's a good policy, which never is, by the way. Marin and the Republicans behind him also said they plan to work with Senate Republicans who overwhelmingly control their chamber. Asked for comment on that, Senate GOP Chairman John Fortney said in a statement, organizational developments in either chamber are simply the business of the specific chamber. Also, it's common for members from either body to interact with and discuss legislation. That's business as usual. Said since the speaker's vote, Stevens has worked to reach out to House Republicans to try to bring the caucus back together. He hasn't spoken much about to the media, nor has he yet announced committee chairs or a House session schedule. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And that right there shows it all, man. The guy's a loser. Jason Stevens is a fucking loser. He should resign in disgrace right now, both from the actual speakership and from the entire House chamber. He should just resign from office in disgrace, dude. Resign from office in disgrace. Give up the speakership. Let there be a new fucking House race. And remove yourself from the entire fucking General Assembly, dude. And they replace you with somebody else now. If that means a brand new election, or if that means them appointing somebody like usual is what it would be, it don't fucking matter. It would be the best thing to happen to Steve Ohio right now, dude. Because Jason Stevens is a fucking joke. The fact that we are 11 days now, 11 fucking days into the General Assembly, and you have no chairs appointed to committees, you have no session schedule for when they're actually going to do any kind of fucking committee hearings or floor votes or anything else like that, dude. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. What the fuck you been doing the last 11 days, you lazy motherfucker? Oh, yeah, that's right. You steal a speakership by literally doing a crossroads demon deal with that fucking cunt Allison Russo, and then you proceed to fuck over every person who helped get other people into office by literally destroying the entire caucus is what it was, dude. Because you're a fucking scumbag. And that's the entire problem right now, dude. You have scumbag Stevens fucking over everybody else because, oh no, we didn't want Derek Marin as speaker, even though Derek Marin would have been the best Pro 2A speaker in Ohio's history. He would have had the best Pro 2A team with Scott Wiggum being either majority leader or one of like the top leadership positions there in the actual thing. And you would have had other people that were all Pro 2A as fuck as well, dude. But nah. Stevens fucked that all up, dude. Fucked it all up by making a fucking deal with the biggest fucking cunt, piece of shit, bribed fucking state official in Ohio's history, being Democrat Allison Russo, who literally took a bribe on camera from MDA 2 years ago. It's absolute bullshit, dude. It's absolutely fucking bullshit. I am so sick of this crap, dude. I have had it with these motherfuckers. Enough is enough of this shit. And that's all I'm gonna say about the other day, man, for real. I just realized it was getting time for me to do stuff right now, so I'm gonna talk a few more minutes, but I'm actually gonna be working on some things here while I'm doing other stuff is what it is. So currently trying to grab a couple things right now. Let's see, grab that. Okay. That should be good enough for now. But yeah, so basically the entire point I'm trying to make is, though, you have a person in specifically Allison Russo, who is one of the biggest pieces of shit in our state house, dude. The biggest fucking criminal of all of them, dude. Is completely willing to take bribes on camera from fucking anti-gunners and has not been ousted. It's beyond infuriating, man. It really is. Because you have these fucking people that are legitimately doing crimes and not being brought up on criminal charges. And it's like, at what fucking point do we say enough is enough? You know, at what fucking point is it okay to overthrow a fucking tyrannical government, man? Seriously. Like, that's the question I'm asking at this point, man. Because that's what it's come down to being, honestly, dude. You know, state and federal both at this point, man. When you're committing tyranny against the American people, you don't need to be in office anymore. And the fact that we're seeing the continued fuckery over and over and over again, it's like, bro, what the fuck? I don't know anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it all, man. I really am. I've had it. I think a lot of us have. And I'm to a point in history right now of just being like, fuck it all, dude. Just doing my own thing and just walking away, basically, is what it is. That is honestly the way that I feel currently. It's just saying, fuck it all, move on, and, you know, go about my day is what it is then. So, I don't know. I hate to think that way, honestly, dude. I really do. I really hate to think that way. And it's mostly due to the fact that you have just all the corruption, dude, is what it is. It's all the corruption. It's all the fucking the cops and everything else like that not doing their jobs, you know? And it's like, at what point is it like, you know, founding fathers time again, basically, you know? Just to be clear, these are just questions. These are just questions being asked right now, dude. Nothing is, you know, set in stone. Nothing is solid. I'm not talking about, you know, actually overthrowing a tyrannical government or anything like that. I'm simply stating a fact is what it is, dude. Like, at what point do people finally have enough? Like, at what point is the breaking point, basically, is what I'm saying. And I think, unfortunately, you know, with what we're seeing currently, I believe we have reached that breaking point in America, dude, to where people have finally had enough. They finally had enough of everything. They finally had enough of the tyrannical crap, is what it is. And I think it's only a matter of time before everything goes down, man. I really do. I really, truly do. I believe it is legitimately only a matter of time currently until you see all the crazy shit happen, dude. Because when it's all said and done, you know, and I've said it before, man, we are our own first responders for a reason. You know, there's a reason why people will fight to survive. And when you're fighting for your own survival, when you're fighting for your constitutional republic and to remain such, you know, it's only a matter of time before people finally snap. It's only a matter of time before people finally have enough. And I believe that we're truly at that time in history right now. We have come to that precipice in history where it's either we're either gonna go, and I would say this is gonna happen in the next year or so. Truthfully, I'll say next 12 months because I believe I believe it'll start sometime in there. It's either gonna be a balkanization event due to everything that we're seeing right now. It'll be a revolution, potentially, or it'll be a civil war most likely. And I think honestly, civil war is the most logical solution right now, dude. I think that's the most logical conclusion, not solution, but conclusion to what's actually being happening right now. Because you have seen the continued fuckery of this nation. You have seen the continued just scumbaggery and just complete just shit show that is fucking government at this point. The complete ineptitude of the people that just want to stay in power forever. And then you wonder why people are coming to that point, dude, and coming to that fucking, just breaking point junction is what it is. And it's like, it's not that hard to figure out, man. Like, there's only so many ways that it could go. There's only so much that a little human being can take before they just finally have enough and push back is what it is. And I believe that's what we're starting to see now, finally. I think we saw some of it, technically speaking, when it came to the various speaker votes and stuff like that recently. When it came to that douchebag McCarthy, getting after, what was it, 15 rounds, but it was everybody actually being able to finally have a say for once. You had, who was it, Chip Roy, I believe was what it was one that said it like a week and a half ago or so, where he was talking about specifically, this is what it takes to get 435 members of this chamber on the fucking floor at one time. It's pathetic, dude, is what it is. It's fucking pathetic. Because what it shows that nobody cares. It shows that no one actually gives a shit enough to do their fucking job in a constitutional republic. That's what it shows. And it's fucking sad, dude. It's sad and it's pathetic at the same time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole thing is a bunch of shit entirely, dude. Because it continues to show just the absolute fuckery of our country. It continues to show the fuckstickery of our nation. And it continues to show other people why we've basically become a joke of a fucking country, dude. And it pisses me the fuck off. Because all you're doing at that point is you're legitimately showing weakness. And there's that old saying about, when you're weak, when you're strong, you should show weak, or how does it go now? Fuck, I can't remember now offhand. Yeah. If you're weak, you should act like you're strong. If you're strong, you should act like you're weak, kind of thing, or whatever. And that's the problem. People are not that smart, though, because they'll just be weak. They'll be weak and they'll act fucking weak. You got fucking potato head Biden's bitch ass fucking doing all kinds of shady shit. Now, the motherfucker had legitimately in the past 2 days now, 2 different locations of classified documents fucking found. That his fucking demented old ass left behind in various places, dude. Like, goddamn, dude. At what point is this fucker tried for high treason? The same thing with Kamala Harris, dude, for fucking cheating the 2020 election cycle. Like, at what point is enough enough? At what point is this bullshit fucking Democrat garbage, fake administration ousted, dude? Because that's what needs to be at this point in time in history, seriously. I personally reached my breaking point, I believe, honestly, dude. I'm now 38 years old. I never thought I'd live to see 38. Hell, I thought I would die at 31 from colon cancer. Thankfully, I survived, though. And that's the thing. Do I want to see this country continue on down the fucking path that it's on right now because of a bunch of dumb motherfucking cheaters in office that have continuously fucked us all and are continuing to try to fuck us all? Fuck no, dude. I do not want to see that. I want to see a constitutional republic be restored, and I want to see actual fucking criminals go to prison finally is what it is, dude, at minimum. I would honestly, in my vision, in my actual vision, dude, fantasy land, I would love to see these fucking people brought up on military tribunals at this point, dude. And have the military do what needs to be done. Treat them like we used to for high treason, dude. Seriously. Is it ever going to happen? No, it's not. And that's the entire point of the whole thing. Because nobody's ever going to let it fucking happen because it's all a goddamn house of cards, dude. It's all a bullshit house of cards that has continued to basically flourish because of douchebaggery is what it is. It's a bunch of asshole, asinine crap from a bunch of old fucking geriatric fucks Half of them don't even know where the fuck they're at any given time because they're all on dementia meds or Alzheimer's meds or something else for that matter. Fucking Nadler's over there shitting his fucking pants on camera. Like, Jesus Christ, man. That right there shows the pathetic weakness of America in a nutshell, dude. That fucking video of Jerry Nadler literally shitting his pants at the fucking podium and then waddling his fat penguin ass off the fucking stage to go fucking change his diaper is what it was, dude. And it's like, good God, man. And this dude was so-called re-elected into office in 2022 midterms. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit, dude. There is so much fuckery. There is so much gerrymandered blueness in New York. It's not even funny, dude. At what point do we introduce age limits, period? At what point do we, the people, have the ability to introduce age limits into fucking office, dude? Where it's like, if you're X, Y, or Z amount of years old, you ain't running for office anymore, motherfucker. That's what it should have been years ago at this point, man. Seriously. The fact you have old, dementia-ass, decrepit pieces of shit in office, dude, who don't even know where the fuck they are at any given time, and they want to sit there and act like they control anything, fuck that. And fuck them, by the way, as well. Like I said, I've just personally had it, man. I really have. I've had it. I'm done with this shit. Enough of it. It's time to go our own way at this point, man. It's time to just split this country in half. Fucking balkanize the right way. Half of us have an actual constitutional republic to rely back on. The other half have some fucked up totalitarian bullshit that they want to call a fucking democracy. And then they wonder how fucking quick that shit falls apart is what it is, dude. I guarantee it'll be less than 5 years. It'll probably be more like 1.5 to 2 years, honestly, when it finally falls apart entirely. Because it'll be every single state being like fucking California, dude. Every single one. You will have every single state across this country look like California underneath that bullshit, dude. And we already know how many people have fled California and become locusts in other states now. And that's another thing too, by the way. And that's one thing I've always had a problem with. I've always had a problem with this. When you have people that will leave their home state and continue to vote the same bullshit ass way that got them into the fucking policies in the first place. Nah, fuck you. Go back to where you came from, or don't have voting rights ever in my state is what it is, dude. Which is honestly how it should be at this point in history. It should be like they either give up their voting rights in the new state they go to for at least 10 years so that we can secure shit here and make sure that they can't fuck us over in the future, or they can just fuck right off back to their home state is what it is, dude, where they came from that they fucked up to begin with because they voted in dumbass Democrats and stuff like that all the time. Of course, it'll never fly because it would be not constitutional. It'd be like the poll tax bullshit of like the old days and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit is what it is, dude. And I'm sick and tired of all of it. Like I said, it's a bunch of crap, dude. And it is 100% needs to be fixed. And the only way to fix it truly is to start doing things the correct way in this country. And it's to fight fucking tyranny every single day. And to fight tyranny every day is to actually pass good legislation, like I've talked about in this episode, like here in Ohio, with the Ohio Constitution Protection Act, which will 100% save us from all kinds of Democrat fuckery, as well as special interest groups trying to put on ballot initiatives and stuff like that in the future, dude. So, yeah, I'm just over it, man. And I think a lot of others out there too are as well, man. You know, I've talked to a lot of people here in the last, I don't know, 8-10 months now that feel very similar to the way I do, if not exactly the way I do. And it's everybody across the board basically at this point, dude, that they've all just had it is what it is. You know, they've seen what should be the American dream crumble before their eyes because of a bunch of old fucking corrupt fuckers is what it is, dude. Because of some bullshit ass like go along to get along crap that should have never been in place in the first place. And because it was, you had the same bunch of jackasses keep doing jackass bullshit is what it is, dude. And I'll tell you what, honestly, state of Ohio, I have never seen one single piece of Democrat created legislation go through our state house in the past 5 years since I've been paying attention that has ever been worth fucking going to a floor vote or getting put into law, dude. Because it's all garbage. It is literally fucking trash on top of trash on top of trash, dude. It is a bunch of stupid bullshit. It is a bunch of anti-gun bullshit. It is a bunch of fucking garbage upon garbage upon garbage. And it's never worth submitting. It's never even worth fucking time of day to even look at it, dude. Even be submitted to the legislator. It's just a waste of time and a waste of paper, honestly, dude. It's a bunch of stupid crap. It's them trying to push transgender shit on kids. It's them trying to push fucking literal transitioning on children. And it's like, only a sick motherfucker would do that, dude. Only somebody who is seriously mentally ill in the fucking head's gonna do crap like that, dude. And it makes sense coming from the Democrat Party at this point, dude. Because they are fucking mentally ill. Because 90% of these fucking people should be in a goddamn nut house. You know? And I've said it before, honestly, the worst thing Trump ever did as president was not have literal fucking men in white coats running around to lock these motherfuckers up, dude. Because that's what this needs to be right now. That's what we need to have in this country right now, dude. We need to have good people coming out again and have a country that is willing to respect the ability to deal with insanity. And the only way you deal with insanity is lock it up. And if you're not going to deal with it that way, then you're never going to have a functioning country ever again, man. And when you have literal psychotic nuts in power right now at a federal level, it's bullshit, dude, entirely. All right. So, had our first troll of the night tonight. And fuck you, Larry. So, you're not banned from this channel. Anyway, that being said, we're pretty much done with this episode tonight, though. You know, like I said, I'm just over it, man. I think a lot of other people are too as well. And it's a situation of, you know, patriotism flourishing is what it is, dude. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being Christian. There's nothing wrong with loving your country. You know, that's a big thing right there, too, by the way. There's nothing wrong with either one of these things, dude. There's nothing wrong with wanting children to be born alive. There's nothing wrong with actually having Americans have the ability to live, have innocent life be born. And if you got a problem with that, there's the fucking door, dude. Get the fuck off my channel entirely. And it's the same thing with anti-gun shit, dude. If you want to push anti-gun shit, there's a door. Get the fuck out. Don't let it hit you on the way. Don't let it hit in the ass on the way out is what it is, man. So, anyway, I'll be back again at some point, probably tomorrow. I'm not sure yet because I might just go back to Friday again and do a 2A cast again at some point here. I'm almost out of time on this particular account that I'm on right now, so it might be having to jump over to a different account or whatever and do the 2A casting on that one. I'm gonna do Oathbreakers again at some point this year. We might do Jason Stevens. We might do Allison Russo again. I'm not sure. It all depends. I've already talked about them so many times in these grandstands and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'd be worth reiterating the same message over and over again. But yeah, needless to say, like I said, I think we're definitely at a precipice in history right now. You know, that pendulum has swung and swung and swung and swung and swung, and now it's basically hung up. And when it swings back again, it's going to snap. And I think that's what we're seeing the beginning of right now. You know, you got crazy inflation, you got crazy gas prices and everything. Hell, I went out yesterday. I went out today both to do stuff, and fucking gas, depending on where you were at here in Ohio, it was over $3.30 a gallon for unleaded, and diesel was anywhere from I think it was like 375 to like 435 a gallon, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then again, you wonder why inflation is what it is right now, and you got again crazy gas prices, what it is, dude. And again, it goes back to America not being an energy independent nation, you know? Like it all coalesces back to the same stuff, and it all goes back to Biden's dumbass. Is that dumb piece of shit signing a bunch of stupid legislation into place that should have never been signed into place ever, that stopped us from being an energy independent nation to protect ourselves and protect our own sovereignty, is what it is, dude. It's the same exact thing with having a border wall, by the way, for that matter. It's protecting our nation just like every other nation on earth has done. It's why we're funding border walls in Jordan and omnibus bills and stuff like that, dude. So they can actually protect their borders and protect their nation and protect their sovereignty. And if you're not going to protect the sovereignty of the nation, then what the fuck is it to have a nation at all, for that matter? You know, seriously. So, anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll be back again, like I said, probably either tomorrow or Friday. I'm thinking Friday, maybe. I think maybe I'll take the day off tomorrow and just bullshit is what it is. And, or if I do like a grandstand or something like that, I'll be like way late at night or way early in the morning, one of the two. I'm not sure. Depends on where, depends on exactly where we're at right now. So, anyway, but, yeah, needless to say, we're definitely going to be fighting an uphill battle here in Ohio now that we have basically a 3-chamber system in place. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what gets submitted, what gets passed, when we even have a fucking, schedule for the House at this point to even submit legislation and stuff like that, or do floor votes or anything like that, dude. So, I don't know. I still got that pit in the that little, bad feeling in the pit of my stomach is what it is, because I definitely think that we're about to get fucked over on some stuff. At least it's not as bad as Illinois, where they passed the unconstitutional shit there the other day for the super gerrymandered fucking AWB there, which is unconstitutional itself there as well. At least we're not that fucking far gone yet in the state, but I don't know, man. Like, I definitely feel like something bad's about to happen, and I'm not sure what. I don't know if it's going to be federal, or if it's going to be state, or if it's going to be both, but I don't like where it's heading. I'll say it like that. I do not like where things are heading right now, and I think the farther that we continue on this pathway, the more likelihood that we're just going to go running off a fucking cliff as a country, and we're going to be basically the way Germany was after World War II, is what it is, which is a non-functioning country, which is no longer a first world nation at all, and has, decades of repair to go back and actually try to get some semblance of a nation again. And I fear that that's going to happen here in the next couple of years. Is it's going to be something like that, honestly, and it's going to take us, not even my kids' um, lifetime, but it would be like their kids' lifetime. So it'd be my grandkids' lifetime is what it would be before you actually have like some semblance of what the United States of America used to look like, is what it would be. Hard times create strong men. That is a very, very good quote, and it is the truth, honestly. And when you look at what is happening in this country currently, it is exactly what we're facing right now, dude. You've had a bunch of weak men create hard times, and now you're having the hard times that are going to create strong men again. And then it's going to go back to that revolving cycle of, strong men create good times create weak men create hard times, and so forth and so on. So, but we're definitely in that fourth turning right now, and I think it's only a matter of time before people finally wake up to that. The question is, do they wake up before it's an actual Great Depression again? And I think that's what we're hitting right now in this country, dude. I think it's a balkanization event either during or post Great Depression. And it depends if it's going to be 6 months, if it's going to be a year, if it's going to be 2 years from now. It all depends, man. But I believe we're definitely seeing the very, very early stages of it all. So, anyway, hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I will see everybody in the next one.